The first time Ethan Cole saw the cave, he felt nothing. Not anger. Not hope. Not even curiosity. Just emptiness. The wind moved quietly through the tall pine trees, whispering across the rocky hills as Ethan stood at the edge of the forest staring at the dark mouth of the cave carved deep into the mountain. It looked ancient, forgotten, almost like the earth itself had swallowed whatever secrets once lived there. And now it belonged to him. A grieving Navy SEAL, and the owner of what everyone in town called the most worthless piece of land in the county. Beside him sat the only companion who had refused to leave him through everything, a loyal Belgian Malinois named Ranger. The dog's ears were sharp, his eyes fixed on the cave as if he sensed something deeper hiding within the shadows. Ethan's life had collapsed only months earlier. War had taken pieces of him. But tragedy had taken everything else. And now all he had left was a cave nobody wanted. But sometimes the most worthless things in life hide the greatest miracles. Before we continue this emotional journey, take a moment to like the video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who believes in kindness and second chances, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy powerful, heartfelt stories like this. Your support helps these stories reach people who need them most. Ethan stepped forward slowly, boots crunching on the gravel path that led to the cave entrance. The property had been left to him by a distant uncle he barely remembered. The lawyer in town had delivered the news with a shrug and a stack of papers. No house. No money. No land worth farming. Just an old cave on the edge of the Black Ridge Mountains. Most people in town assumed Ethan would sell it immediately, but the truth was, no one wanted to buy it. It had no electricity. No water. No real road access. Just trees, rocks, and silence. But silence was something Ethan had grown used to. Since returning home from his final deployment, life had felt like walking through fog. His wife, Claire, had died in a car accident while he was overseas. By the time he made it back to the United States, the funeral was already over. The house felt empty. The town felt unfamiliar. Even the sky felt different. Only Ranger understood the quiet grief that followed Ethan everywhere. The dog had served beside him during multiple deployments, trained to detect explosives and protect lives. When Ethan retired from the SEALs, Ranger retired too. 2 soldiers. Both carrying invisible scars. As Ethan approached the cave entrance, a cold breeze flowed out from the darkness inside. The air smelled damp, ancient, untouched. Guess this is home now, Ethan murmured to himself. Ranger suddenly stood up. His body stiffened. The dog's ears shot forward, and his nose lifted into the air as if catching a scent buried deep within the cave. Ethan frowned. Ranger had that look again, the one he used to get during missions when he detected something unusual. "Easy, boy," Ethan whispered. But Ranger didn't relax. Instead, he walked slowly toward the cave entrance and stopped just at the edge of the shadow line where sunlight faded into darkness. Then he barked. Once. Sharp. Alert. Ethan's instincts immediately kicked in. Years of military training didn't disappear overnight. His body moved before his mind could question it. He stepped closer, scanning the cave interior. At first, he saw nothing. Just a long tunnel of rough stone disappearing into blackness. Water dripped somewhere deep inside, echoing softly. But Ranger began walking forward. Step by careful step. Ethan hesitated, then followed. The deeper they went, the darker it became. Ethan switched on a flashlight he kept in his backpack. The beam cut through the cave like a blade, revealing rough walls covered in mineral streaks and jagged stone. It was bigger than it looked from outside. Much bigger. The tunnel curved gently downward, opening into a massive chamber that made Ethan stop in surprise. The ceiling stretched high above them, covered in hanging stalactites like stone icicles frozen in time. "Wow," he whispered. Even Ranger paused, staring around the cavern. But then the dog moved again. This time faster. He trotted toward the far side of the chamber, nose close to the ground. His tail wagged slightly, but his focus was intense. Ethan followed cautiously. That's when he noticed something strange. The ground near the back wall looked disturbed. Not natural. The dirt was uneven, almost like someone had dug there long ago and covered it back up. Ranger began scratching at the ground. Hard. Dirt flew backward as the dog dug with urgency. Hey, what is it? Ethan said, kneeling beside him. The flashlight beam shook slightly in Ethan's hand as Ranger uncovered something beneath the soil. Wood. Old wooden planks. Ethan's heart began to beat faster. He cleared more dirt away, revealing what looked like the lid of a large wooden crate buried beneath the cave floor. The wood was aged but intact, reinforced with rusted metal bands. What the? Ethan muttered. His mind raced. Why would someone bury a crate inside a cave? Ranger barked again, tail wagging harder now. With effort, Ethan pulled away the remaining dirt and pried open the crate using a piece of broken rock. The lid creaked. Dust exploded into the air. And inside, Ethan froze. Rows of old leather-bound journals. Stacks of sealed envelopes. And beneath them, small velvet bags filled with something heavy. His hands trembled as he opened one. Gold coins spilled into his palm. Real ones. Old ones. Dozens of them. Ethan stared in disbelief. Ranger, what did you just find? He whispered. But the discovery was only beginning. As Ethan carefully examined the crate's contents, he realized the journals were dated, from the 1800s. The envelopes contained letters, maps, and handwritten records. One document appeared to describe an entire network of hidden caves and abandoned mining routes beneath Black Ridge. Another journal belonged to a man named Thomas Whitaker, a gold prospector who had disappeared in 1879. According to the writings, Whitaker had discovered an enormous gold deposit deep within the mountain. But before he could reveal it, thieves had begun hunting him. So he hid the evidence. Inside a cave no one would think to search. Then vanished. Ethan sat there for a long time, stunned. Not because of the gold, but because of what the journals revealed next. Whitaker had planned to use the gold to build something for the struggling mining town nearby, schools, hospitals, homes for families who had nothing. But he never got the chance. The fortune had remained buried, waiting. Waiting for someone to find it. And somehow, that someone was a broken Navy SEAL who believed his life had already ended. Ethan leaned back against the cave wall, staring at the coins glowing softly in the flashlight beam. For the first time in months, he felt something stir inside him. Purpose. Hope. Days turned into weeks as Ethan carefully studied the journals and explored the cave system described in Whitaker's notes. With Ranger always at his side, he discovered hidden tunnels leading to small pockets of gold deposits still untouched by time. But instead of rushing to sell everything and disappear with the money, Ethan remembered Whitaker's dream. And slowly, something remarkable began to happen. He started helping people. Quietly at first. Paying off medical bills for struggling families. Repairing homes damaged by storms. Funding scholarships for kids who couldn't afford college. The town that once pitted Ethan slowly began to see something different. Not a grieving soldier, but a man rebuilding himself by lifting others. And through it all, Ranger never left his side. Months later, standing once again at the cave entrance, Ethan looked out over the forest as sunlight poured across the mountains. Life still hurt. Claire was still gone. The scars from war still existed. But the darkness that once consumed him had faded. Because sometimes, healing doesn't come from what we lose. It comes from what we choose to give. Ranger sat beside him, calm and proud, the same dog who had uncovered the miracle hidden beneath the earth. And Ethan smiled. If this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in hope, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. But before the story ends, I have a special request. Comment the word hope below if you believe even the darkest moments in life can lead to something beautiful. Because sometimes a worthless cave, a loyal dog, and a broken man are exactly what destiny needs to create a miracle.